So this is going to be my third video on the Polymesh blockchain. In my previous two videos, we went through the introduction of the Polymesh blockchain, which is the first video in which I describe what is the difference between the Polymesh blockchain and other blockchains like Ethereum, and then we went through the setup process and we set up your accounts and your crypto wallets, the Polymesh crypto wallets in your Chrome browser, which is installed in my Chrome browser. And then we went through a detailed demo in which we go through setting up the security token, and then we configure it. We configure the compliance, the different compliances and the transfer rules of the security token, and then we actually transfer the tokens to other accounts. So that's the second video was a bit detailed. So this is going to be the third video, which is going to be the continuation of these videos, and in this particular video we are going to look into more details about the blockchain, about this blockchain, particularly the use of the portfolios in your account. Polymesh is a bit different than other blockchains. This is, you can say, a tailor-made blockchain for the security tokens for the issuers, and there are many things that has been provided in this blockchain. So in this demo we are going to talk about those you can say the extra functionalities that has been provided or made available into the Polymesh dashboards. Okay, so let's open the Polymesh dashboard. Open your crypto wallet and make sure that your testnet is selected, and these are some of the accounts that we were working in the previous demos. We made some deployments with this account, and then open the dashboard and make sure that in the URL there is a testnet that has been selected, and then click on the connect Polymesh wallet. Sometime it happens that you start with the mainnet and then you start the dashboard, and if you switch to the other testnets, these dashboards doesn't refresh. So just make sure that before you open your dashboard, the testnet is already selected from the drop down, and this will load the dashboard, the Polymesh dashboard, and you can see that the user is already logged in. It's because that dashboard is connected with your account in your Polymesh wallet. So let's select the account that we used in the previous demos, which is a Polymesh test, and you can see that that will change the dashboard itself, and it will show the information related to this dashboard that is selected in the Polymesh wallet. So it's going to take a few seconds to load the dashboard, and there you have the dashboard loaded, and the information which is being shown is related to the account that has been selected in the Polymesh wallet. And once the dashboard loads, you can see the information related to the account that is selected in the Polymesh wallet, which is this one, and you can see that how many PolyX tokens that the account is holding. You can tally it with the amount in the Polymesh wallet, and this is your unique Polymesh ID account ID, and this is the ID that you can pass on to other people. And then you have the holding sections and the portfolio sections. In the holding sections, all the tokens that this account is holding or in the possession, all of those tokens will be listed over here. Currently we just deployed one security tokens using this account, and because this account is also the distribution account of that token, so that's why all the tokens that were minted were transferred to this account. You can see that the current amount is 9,000 Despolitan token that we deployed in the previous demos, and we transfer 1000 tokens to other account. And then we have the portfolios, and this is what we are going to work today in this demo. You can see that there is an unassigned portfolio, and this portfolio is holding one asset, which is obviously this one. And then you have the section to the outgoing transactions. All the transactions that were happening from this accounts will be listed over here. You can see the statuses, which is all success. So that is the first transaction when we register the ticker, and then we created the assets. We added some compliance rules. So you can see that all of these things were demoed in the previous video. And so let's work with the portfolios. So let's switch to the security tokens, and on this sections you have different sections. The first section is your settlements. If you are having some incoming distribution of the tokens from other accounts, they will be listed over here, and you have to accept those transfers. So mainly the difference between this blockchain and other blockchain is that whenever somebody transfers some tokens to you, you have to give the consent that you want to receive those tokens, otherwise the transfer will not complete. You can also reject those transactions. It was all demoed in the previous video. And then you have the holding section, in which all the tokens that this account is holding will be shown. And then you have the portfolio section, and there's only one portfolio, which is a default portfolio, and there is a default there's one asset that this portfolio is holding. As I said, that this account is directly linked with the Polymesh wallet account that is selected, so you can switch between different accounts. So let's switch, for example, this account, and which is one of the main test accounts that I've been using while I was going through this Polymesh blockchain, and you will see a lot of activity in this account. And when the interface loads, you can see the information related to this account. In the settlements accounts, there are no incoming distributions, which means that there are no transfer of the assets from other accounts. There's a holding section, and you can see that all the tokens that assets that this account is holding will be listed over here in this section. I've been using this account for a lot of testing of the Polymesh blockchain, so I have minted all these tokens into the blockchain. And then you have the portfolio section. This is the default portfolio, which is holding all those tokens. But for the management purposes, I can create more portfolios, and you can see that I have created 2 more portfolios. And you can see that in the cold storage portfolio, I have Polymesh 47, which is 1000 tokens into this portfolio. But you can also see the same token into the unassigned or default portfolio. So what I'm doing is that I have distributed my tokens into these 2 different portfolios. But if I go in my holding section and search for the 47, so you can see that it is showing my total number of tokens into this account. So mainly this token is divided into my 2 portfolios. And the purpose of the portfolio is that it give the management mechanism to the admins, so that they can manage their assets into different portfolios for different purposes. One example is that the company wants to give access to a limited number of tokens to the sales people. So for example, the company can create a sales portfolio and transfer Polymesh 47 tokens, let's suppose 5000 tokens to that portfolio, and then give access to that portfolio to the sales department. So the sales department will have access to only those 5000 tokens to transfer to other accounts. So that's the main purpose of creating these portfolios. Another example is that maybe you have some external broker and you want to give some tokens to that external broker, for example exchange, who can trade the tokens on your behalf. So that's why that's where the portfolios will come into. You can create for example another portfolio called external brokers, and then transfer the limited number of tokens to that account, and then give access to that portfolio to that external account, and then that external account will see these tokens in their accounts, and they can manage those tokens on your behalf. Another example is that, for example, a company can have employees into their accounts. For example, the CEOs or marketing people or sales people, and those people will be coming and going in the companies. So that's where the portfolios will come handy. You can create the portfolios and then give access. The main admin can give access to those portfolios to those company employees, and if the employees leaves, you take the right from their account on those portfolios. So that is another reason that you will the main admin will be managing the company assets into different portfolios. Alright, so let's switch to our test account and let's create a new portfolio, and then we manage our tokens into those portfolios. I just switch to the test account in which I created a test token into in my previous video. Alright, so let's scroll down. You can see that there's only one token that or asset that this portfolio is holding. Let's switch to the portfolio section and create a new portfolio. Let's give it a name, sales, and then click on the add and confirm. This is going to prepare a transaction that you have to sign. And click on the sign, and that will send the transaction to the blockchain. And that will create an account into the blockchain on the network level. So one thing you notice is that all of these things are being handled on the network level. So that's the main difference between this blockchain and the other blockchains. For example, if you want to have the same functionalities in the Ethereum blockchain, by default these functionalities are not provided into the Ethereum blockchain. You have to create all of these functionalities in your smart contracts. So what Polymesh team has done is that they have developed a custom blockchain in which you can do all these complex things on the network level, and they have also provided this dashboard that you can work with and manage your assets. So let's transfer some tokens from the default portfolio to the sales department. Click on each portfolio has a send button. Click on the send. Select the asset you want to transfer to other portfolio. Enter the number of tokens. Make sure that one of my portfolio is selected, and then select the portfolio. Click on send, and that will prepare the transaction for the blockchain. Confirm the transaction, and that will launch the wallet, and you have to enter your password, and that will sign the transaction to send to the blockchain. And once the transaction completes, the tokens will be transferred to the other portfolio. So that is still, you can see that you can collapse it, and you can also expand your currently executing transactions in your, and now the transaction has been successful, and that will automatically refresh the the dashboard, and now you can see that the tokens has been transferred to this account. So you can also manage the portfolios. There's a manage button for each portfolio. You can click that manage button, and that is the portfolio management interface. You can change the name of the portfolio, and then there's a list of portfolio managers. This is the account that has deployed the token, so that is in the list of the portfolio managers, and you can add another portfolio manager. Then there's a list of transaction histories. So let's add another portfolio manager into this account. For that purpose, you have to do a few things. The first thing is, so the first thing is that you have to create a new account into your wallet. Let's suppose another user has come on in the company, and you want to add him as the portfolio manager of this token. For that purpose, he has to create a new key. Click on add new account, and then you have to copy the setting up a new account into the Polymesh wallet. The first thing is that you have to set up your the keys. All right, so I'm going to copy these keys and then save it over here. Confirm and continue, and you have to rephrase your key. Enter cost of full. Stay on put. So I just enter the new account, rephrase the new account key, click on continue, and then you enter salesperson. Let's suppose I give the account name and wallet password and create account, and once that is done, that will be added to the Polymesh accounts, and there you have the Polymesh the account, and this key is not yet been assigned to any identity on the Polymesh blockchain, and this is the public address that you need. So somebody who come on board, he has created his unassigned keys, and now you can copy now that person has to give that key to the admin, and he will come back into the admin. He has to switch to his own account, the Polymesh account, and then go on the accounts and then assign a key. Let's suppose I name it salesperson 1, enter the key, and then assign it and confirm it, and that will prepare the transaction for the blockchain. You enter the password, and once the transaction is complete, that key will be added as the secondary key into this. Right, the transaction is complete, and you can refresh that. If I open my Polymesh wallet, alright, so that will send the invitation to the account to accept. So let's switch back to the other account that we just added, and there the thing is that in the Polymesh, whenever you are transferring some tokens to other accounts, he has to accept those tokens, or in this case, I have sent some invitation to join a Polymesh identity, I mean that key has to accept that that invitation. So I just switch to the account, and you can see that there is the alert. So I have to accept this, confirm it, I think I have to I think I need some PolyX token into this account as well, which I don't have yet. So let's wait for the completion of this transaction, because this account doesn't have any PolyX, so we have to transfer some PolyX tokens to this account. All right, anyway, it has, the transaction has been completed. Okay, I was expecting that the transaction will fail because I don't have the PolyX required PolyX token, the PolyX tokens into that account, but somehow the transaction is complete. So anyway, you can see that that secondary account has been added into that account as well. So now you can add this account to the as a portfolio manager. So let's switch, just make sure that you have the primary account selected, and that will refresh the screen, the dashboard. So I just switched to the main the account that has that is managing the token and the portfolios. So let's switch to the security token interface, and let's and now you can manage it. So you can click on manage and click on add portfolios. If you click the drop down, and there you have that account that we just added, you can click that, and then you click on this icon, and this will add this account as the portfolio manager into this, in the list of these portfolios. Alright, so I just signed the transaction, and now after some time, when the transaction will complete, this account will also be added as the portfolio managers into this portfolio. Alright, so you have to wait for the completion of the transaction. So once that is complete, and now if I manage, click on the manage, and now you can see that that account is also added as the portfolio managers into this particular portfolio. If I click the other manage other portfolio, and you can see that that account is not there. The newly added account have only access to this portfolio. So let's switch to the account that we just give access to, where you can see that this is the secondary the key that is added to the list to this Polymesh identity. So let's switch to that account, and that will refresh the dashboard. And now you can see that in the holding section, this account is holding, has access to test polyten token, 3000 test polyten tokens, and you can also see the portfolio that he have access to, and then you have the these two buttons. This account can send these tokens to other accounts. So mainly what you have done is that you have given access to X number of tokens, or certain limited supply of tokens to some salesperson. Similarly, you can give access to some other external entities like brokers, or maybe external exchanges. So that is the main purpose of creating these portfolios. So you can control how much token and which accounts have access to specific portfolios, and you can also, add or remove those portfolio managers to give or take access. So that is why you will be creating the portfolios. You don't have to give the access to your main portfolio account, or you can say the default portfolio account of your Polymesh, the account which is managing the tokens, but you can create another portfolios and add external accounts as the managers into those portfolios. So that concludes the discussion on the portfolio management into the Polymesh blockchain.